We will start in Gotham. The Mets, they actually won a game on Thursday. Didn't think that was possible. The meltdown, though, off the field continuing. We will get to the day after state of the team address. The glove toss heard around the hardball world. I'll get to that. But first, a Pete Alonso story. There's an injury update. Pete Alonso, we are told, the Mets slugger, did not fracture his hand. He got hit on the hand against the Dodgers, and there were people freaking out. Well, it turned out he did not end up going snap, crackle, pop. But that has led to an uptick in the T word, trade chatter. So if you've been paying attention, you know this, but if not, we are told that the Mets have every intention of trading Pete Alonso. That's the word's been the word from the gossip community. The market for Pete Alonso is starting to be established. We are now almost into June. This is the last day of May, and get the trade deadline a couple months away. But usually within the next month or so, we'll start seeing legitimate trades. So the whispers indicate that the favorites to get Pete Alonso are the Padres, the Giants, and the Cubs. They're all out in front, with San Diego and San Francisco ahead based on the odds from the gambling market. They have the Padres and Giants in the lead. So let us discuss the question. Giants and Padres, at least the betting favorite to land Mets slugger Pete Alonso. What are the chances that the Mets deal him? The gossip is they're going to trade him, but what are the chances the Mets actually deal their slugger Pete Alonso? So I've got Blubber, Piggly Wiggly, and Pirouette. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make peanuts in a shell, which you pretty much only eat at baseball games. And they make a big mess, but have you ever gone to the store and bought shelled peanuts and ate them anywhere else? Probably not. All right, anyway, number one. Hey, my advice to the Metropolitans, this is very important. I'm very powerful. I have a microphone. I know it's the middle of the night, no one's listening, but I have a microphone. Here we go. The advice from the MALLER think tank: the New York Mets must expedite the process. There is no reason to embargo a Pete Alonso trade. You dodged a missile, a nuclear missile on this one. Now, the MALLER odds, the Mets trade Pete Alonso, I am going high. How high? Minus 900. That means a 90% chance. Now, the owner, Steve Cohen, the hedge fund guy, has drawn a line in the sand. He does not want to meet Pete Alonso's asking price. So what you have here is a failure to communicate. The Mets are better off getting something than getting absolutely nothing. Oh, maybe a little draft pick, but who cares about that? As for the trade market, while the gambling market is a very good indicator, it is not often the only indicator. I have my own mind. It's like I talk to people a lot. It's like we got into an argument this week about cinnamon rolls. And a number of you idiots emailed me, well, look what Google says. Listen, I got my own Google. I'm my own Google. I have my own machine. It's called my brain. I make my own decisions. So San Diego and San Francisco, favorites. To me, this comes down to Blubber. He's a polar bear. Pete Alonso's the polar bear. Polar bears eat about 100 pounds when they eat a meal. Over 100 pounds. Of blubber. Delicious, tasty blubber. All right, so Pete Alonso is a baseball mercenary. He will go anywhere. The polar bear. You give him 10 pounds more of blubber. Yummy, yummy, yummy. He's going there. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, okay? So with that as the backdrop, the San Diego Padres are in no man's land. The owner of the team that spent all the money, that loved spending money, died. So they're kind of in no man's land at this point. In San Francisco, they spent a lot of money, but it was on like secondary guys that weren't that good. So how much money do they really have? There's chatter the Giants are going to start unloading some of the players because they haven't played all that well. But I look into my crystal ball, and as a distant relative of Nostradamus and friend of Nostradamus, I got the alphabet soup, the O's and the M's. Live dogs, arf, 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 live dogs for Pete Alonso. O's and the M's. That's what we say at the MALLER Casino. You got a new regime. You got a new ownership in Baltimore. They're really, really good as a regular season team. They were really, really good last year as a regular season team. So if you're the owner and you bought the team, other than buying the fans beer and things like that, if you really want to endure yourself to the electorate, to the fan base, you go out and make a splash trade. You make the move for Pete Alonso. And you say, okay, we're all in. We're going to add another massive bat to our lineup. And then Seattle, you got to think that while they're not the leader in the pack for Pete Alonso, they got to have that itch to scratch for playoff success. It has not gone that well for the Seattle baseball team. They've had some teams that have been in the playoffs recently, but the performance in the playoffs, not so much. And that AL West is plump for the taking. The cheating a-holes not looking all that good. Still not looking all that good as they seemingly twiddle their thumbs. Now, page 2. We pivot now from the Pete Alonso noise, the trade speculation. We stay with the Mets, though. We pivot to the locker room drama-o-rama. Consider this a MALLER follow-up on the Queens investigation. You've got the manager, Carlos Mendoza, who announced that his now former reliever, Jorge Lopez, after being designated for assignment, the reason he was designated for assignment is because he wants you to know the Mets have standards. They have standards. Now, what do you think those standards are for the Mets? Me thinks that the standards of the Mets are you can suck all you want, just don't talk about how the team sucks publicly, and certainly don't throw any equipment over the netting to the crowd. Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill battle. Okay, that's it. And while the embattled Lopez issued a statement saying that he did not call his own team the worst in the whole effing MLB after his glove-throwing temper tantrum, he says that he called himself the worst effing teammate. I got a question for you. So this Jorge Lopez, the relief pitcher, denying calling his Mets team the worst in MLB, do you believe him? Is there anyone that believes this guy? Because I want to talk to that person because I would like to sell them a bridge. All right, a bridge to nowhere is what I would like to sell them. I'm shaking my head no on this. I'm shaking my head no. I don't believe him. And I'll tell you why. This is a trip to the laundromat. It's the spin cycle. And we have candid microphone. This is just damage control. As they say at the Piggly Wiggly, clean up on aisle 3. Clean up on aisle 3. Lopez is attempting through his representation who are riding his coattails, even though he's a fringe major leaguer, they still get paid a lot of money. He's attempting to get another gig. You got to be a bloody roo, to quote my friends in Australia, to think this cover-up is legit. Lopez was asked immediately after he said the thing you can't say at the time you can't say it. He was asked to clarify, and he confirmed the original statement. Right? That's what he did. He confirmed it. And so then the day after, I said, we heard it. We heard what he said. He said it. That's what he said. It's not rough around the edges. He said it. All right, final point. We now head back to the chatter. Several of you idiots sent me this story from the tabloids, baseball tabloids, that say the Dodgers attempted at the very end of free agency. They made a late push to add Blake Snell in free agency. But ultimately, Blake Snell decided that he's not good enough for the Dodgers, and he went to the Gigantes so he could be on a mediocre baseball team and be garbage. So since you geniuses sent this to me, I will engage. Should the Dodger fan base be concerned that the team showed interest in Blake Snell. So I'm going to go no. I'm not going to go no because Blake Snell won the Cy Young Award last year because I think that was a pretty bogus Cy Young Award. He pitched 5 innings in most games and sometimes not even that much. But I want nothing to do with Snell. I think you know that if you listen to this show. Bro, I'm risking my life, bro. I'm not playing unless I get mine. But I will be Benny Brightside. I'll be the bigger man. I'll be the bigger man for 2 reasons. All right. A, I'm not worried about Blake Snell going to the Dodgers. He's likely going to be traded. But I'll tell you what, you think San Francisco is going to trade Blake Snell in the division to their rival Los Angeles? Because I don't. Plus, B, this is an absolute pirouette on the money ramp. Not the catwalk, the money ramp. Because even after the Dodgers spent $1 billion in free agency to add all of the Japanese baseball players, $1 billion, right? They still have petty cash to burn, baby, burn. A license to frivolously spend money, to just have pork barrel spending. The Dodgers have it.